To most people this just looks like an ordinary stone slab, but to these prisoners, it's the key to their escape. First, they lift the cover in the bathroom floor. Then, they carefully place the stone slab over the opening. Once they're sure the slab fully covers the hole, one of the prisoners climbs into the sewer with tools in hand. Using a hammer, he slowly chips away to carve out a tunnel. Meanwhile, the others keep watch by the door. If see a guard coming for inspection, they immediately send a signal to warn the others. This way the digger can quickly climb out of the hole, place the slab back in position, and smooth out the surrounding cracks with dirt. Finally, they pour a bucket of water over it. Now no matter who comes to inspect, nothing seems out of the ordinary. But as their tunnel gets longer and longer, the space quickly fills up with a huge amount of sand and soil. To secretly get rid of all that dirt, these prisoners invented a special device. They just had to hide these two cloth bags in their pants, and gently pull the string at the bottom, letting the sand quietly fall out. The next day, they put their plan into action. One of them distracts a guard by making small talk, while the others shake the sand out of their pant legs. Another teammate quickly smooths it out with a shovel to cover the traces. But as the tunnel got longer and deeper, they faced a new problem. The oxygen inside was running dangerously low. This seriously slowed down their progress, so they had to figure out how to build a ventilation system. They arranged for some teammates to sing loudly outside, to cover up the sound of hammering as they built the ductwork inside. Before long, a basic air pump was ready to go. Since the outside world was still controlled by the Nazis, they had to learn German in a short amount of time, so they could respond fluently if stopped and questioned. Not only that, they also forged a ton of IDs, and even prepared over 100 sets of civilian clothes. But one day, during a routine check, a prison guard suddenly noticed something strange under his feet, so he slowly poured tap water onto the floor tiles. To his surprise, the water disappeared almost instantly. Sensing something was off, he immediately called his superior. Together, they lifted the floor tiles. A tunnel was revealed beneath. The guards quickly gathered all the inmates. They wanted to force a confession from those involved in digging the tunnel. Fortunately, everyone stuck to the same story, and for the moment, they managed to avoid getting caught. But what the guards didn't know was, that tunnel was meant to be found, because the real escape tunnel was hidden in the bathroom. After weeks of non-stop digging, part of the tunnel began to collapse. To fix this, they had no choice but to dismantle their bed frames, using the wooden slats as supports to hold up the tunnel walls. But escaping wasn't just about breaking out. They also needed a clear path to reach a safe zone. One day, while out in the yard, John had an idea. He tossed his baseball under the fence, and while the guards in the watchtower weren't looking, he casually crossed the line and walked up to the wall. According to John's observations, this spot was a blind zone between two towers. Once it got dark, the guards would never notice. That night, John snuck over to the fence. He cut through the wire and escaped, but just a few days later he turned himself in. Turns out John had gone out to scout the surrounding area. He successfully found a viable escape route. Then John began timing everything, set the date for the escape 3 days later. That night, everyone suited up in ties and jackets, packed their bags, and quietly gathered in the bathroom. Once the timing was right, the thrilling prison break officially began. They used a homemade cart system to slide down the tunnel quickly, but as they opened the exit hatch and looked outside, they realized they were only about 20 meters away from the main camp.